Let's talk a little episode 2 of season 2 of Love Island games. I think I want to start just going over all the couples and their problems. I will say my current faves, Kendall and Garby, did not get much screen time in episode 2. Luckily, they did get a lot of good edits in episode 1, so I'm hoping that no screen time is a good thing. It might mean there's no problems right now. Isaiah and Nicola also got no screen time. We still have not seen them kiss. My guess is Isaiah is not into her like that. We did see Solene and I believe Lucinda show some possible interest in Isaiah. They do find him attractive, so maybe his Pisces skills will pay off, but if he stays boring, he gotta go soon. Charlie, stole Andrea away from Josh, and they had their talks after that. They had a lot of family stuff in common. I wasn't buying that Andrea was that into him, but having stuff in common is always nice. What struck me most from their conversation is Andrea knowing she put all of her eggs into Rob's basket in season 6, and she doesn't want to put all her eggs into a basket again. So this time she wants to do that different, and since this is games and not regular Love Island, I think that's a good idea because I think it's even more true. So we learned that Solene chose Mert because he was seeming like he was intimidated by her. I mean, Solen's confidence is pretty unmatched in there, in my opinion, because I don't actually buy Tyrique and Chris's confidence. I think it comes off as more arrogance, and I think it is to cover up some insecurities. Though I do think both are confident in the game. I think Tyrique has his strategies, and I think Chris is confident with all of these physical competitions. But in actual couples so far, they aren't giving secure or just giving secure with this cast of women. Although I do think Tyrique is definitely more secure than Chris. Chris has this wall up, which I'm sure we'll discuss. As for Solene, I love her more each episode already. She does exude confidence, and her choosing Mert because he was avoiding looking at her made me chuckle because I was just contemplating that yesterday why she actually chose him. Solene is here to have a good time and to be good TV. She is also eyeing Isaiah and Chris when Mert asked her if she had eyes on anyone else. She then also dropped maybe the girl you were with too. So Solene got her eye on Lucinda too, apparently. But from their conversation, it was pretty clear that Mert really does like Lucinda. And that was even more clear at breakfast when he brought Lucinda breakfast and not Solene, and then tried to cover by giving Solene the oatmeal that Lucinda had already taken a bite out of. And Solene wasn't having it. She told him she is not a dog, she is not a Doberman, and frankly, that was some audacity from Mert. And then later, when Mert pulled her for a chat, she asked, "Do you want to make me breakfast?" He said no for a chat, and then she was like, "Ah, you want to talk, but my stomach is empty." I think Solene is gold. She has been a great addition to the cast. Definitely my favorite so far. I do like Garby too, but she got no screen time in episode 2. As for Mert and Lucinda, there does still seem to be a problem in their communication. It is because of Mert's English. Sometimes I can tell that Lucinda doesn't always know what he's actually saying, but she did admit that there is sexual tension between them and that she does find him attractive. So we'll see if they circle back together, but I really do think Mert likes her. Lucinda and Josh bonded over having their hearts broken by the heartbreaker twist and the necklaces. And then every time Josh was trying to have conversations with Charlie, with Andrea, I mean, Charlie kept interrupting them, and Charlie would go on, spending this time with Andrea. So Josh was getting very annoyed with all of that. And since he had to choose someone to duel with, he was either going to choose Charlie to get his girl back or Tyrique because he felt like he could beat Tyrique in a physical competition. We'll circle back to Tyrique. I guess I'll first talk about Chris and KK, who also continued to have problems and just differences. Because when KK was making it very clear to Chris that she wanted a kiss in the moment that they were talking, and they were talking about how, well, she was saying that the kisses in the challenges are not the same as kissing outside of the challenges. Chris was acting confused, like the kisses in the challenges are the same as a kiss outside of the challenges. And then it was pretty clear in that moment she wanted a kiss. He didn't take the hint that she wanted a kiss right then and there. I'm not sure why that was, but then later in the night, KK admitted that there was no cuddles between them. So I don't know if Chris has this wall up because of maybe the way season 7 ended with Huda. And it did end pretty badly with Huda. There was problems that Huda was causing, especially when it came to sex. So maybe right now Chris just doesn't want to be all in on this touchy feely relationship. And if that is the case, he has every right to feel that way. But if it's not that, then he is just trying to be way too nonchalant and acting like he's bigger than the show. And he has came across that way sometimes. And KK came in saying she is not going to go for someone that's being nonchalant. So it looks like Chris might not be the girl for her. I mean, the guy for her. And I hope it's the case because it seems like KK is not feeling him anymore either. But we'll see how that plays out. Tyrique and Andreina discussed the kiss between Andreina and Charlie that they shared when Charlie first came in and had to kiss everyone. He said it looked like Andreina was really enjoying herself when Andreina and Charlie were kissing. And she said that's because she thought Solene was going to choose Chris, and that's why she went all in on that kiss with Charlie. I think we also need to discuss the laugh of Andreina's. I didn't really touch upon it in episode 1, but it's still a thing in episode 2. I don't remember her laughing like that in season 1. Maybe she just got so little of an edit that they left it out. Maybe they wanted to keep her hot like the bombshell that she was. I don't know if that is her real laugh. I don't know if she's putting it on for show. Maybe she thinks that Tyrique really likes the laugh because he commented on it last time. So now Andrea is like really leaning into it and playing up the laugh. But to me, it seems like the more she laughs that way with him, the more Tyrique is not feeling her. Because when she does it, he just stares off into space like it's annoying because the laugh is too much. It's the kind of laugh that makes you not want to laugh because it's like, okay, girl, you're actually ruining the moment with that laugh. But if it's her real laugh, my condolences. I guess she can't have everything. Then Tyrique started to play the game. He pulled KK for a chat, and in his confessional, he admitted he's getting messy. It seems like he's hoping to cause problems between KK and Chris. So this just might be game playing on his behalf to weaken the top guys couple in Chris, maybe. Or maybe he's not into Andreina anymore because of his laugh. I don't know where Tyrique actually stands with KK and how much he actually likes her. But I think KK certainly enjoyed that chat with Tyrique. It was definitely a lot more chalant than Chris has been with her. So I think KK might start feeling Tyrique. On the Chris side of things, he told Nicola that he's kind of into her and that she was his second choice, which I mean, I don't know how that's supposed to make her feel. Like, yay, second place. But yeah, I don't know if Chris is just getting a bad edit or if this is the real Chris, but I actually think it's the latter. I think he showed some signs last season of the way he actually is, and then all of that season went to his head, and it's made his big head even bigger. The highlight of the episode to me was my girl Solene and KK spilling the tea to each other, enjoying the mess. They were enjoying themselves talking about what's happening in the game. Solene enjoyed hearing that KK was enjoying her chat with Tyrique. So Tyrique's mess is making KK messy as well. And of course, Solene is mess, so there is a lot of potential mess coming the rest of this week. I'm pretty excited about it. In that conversation, Solene was also showing how confident she is that she could beat Lucinda. They talked about how her mama didn't raise no bitch, she raised a winner. So it was just a fun conversation between those two. I hope they stay friends in the game so they could give us more good conversations. So, as for the duels, Lucinda did not choose Solene because Solene was ready for the duel, and I think her confidence is intimidating. So, Lucinda ended up choosing Andreina because Andreina was second worst in the first competition. This duel was giving the challenge. It was the challenge where you're tied to each other by like a bungee cord. You got to pull the other one. And in this case, you got to get 5 balls and put them in 5 different cups. And frankly, Lucinda dominated Andreina. I was worried about Andreina and competitions. I stated this in my cast assessment. And she unfortunately proved me right because she was terrible in that competition. And now she is not safe if she doesn't beat someone else in a duel tonight. I do wonder if she will challenge someone smaller like KK, thinking it's another physical challenge. I don't know if this episode was possibly setting up Andreina versus KK in tonight's duel, but I think it's very possible. I would not want to lose KK this early. I don't really want to lose Andreina this early either, but of the two, I would choose Andreina to go. As for the guys, Josh and all of his anger at times took on Charlie. At one point before the duel, Tyrique was trying to give Josh a compliment, saying he was locked in, and Josh took it as they were laughing at him. I don't know what Josh's problem has been so far. He's very intense. Maybe he's just an intense earth sign. But it really seems like he has a chip on his shoulder. I don't know what he thinks he has to prove, but he wants to prove something. And Josh did prove something by beating Charlie in the duel to win his woman back in Andrea. So now Charlie is vulnerable, and if he can't defeat someone tonight, he might be first boot. And I think Charlie is a proper first boot for the guys. Hopefully he'll choose Isaiah in the duel, so one of the male duds can go home first. I'm worried about the women because I honestly don't want any of them to go home yet from who is here. I think Andreina might be first boot unless she chooses KK and beats her. Unless maybe she chooses to go up against Lucinda again. That's a possibility. I do know one thing, though. Tyrique is probably all off of Andreina now after her performance in that duel. I know Tyrique is all about playing the game and winning the game, and that wasn't a good look for Andreina. Let's be honest, though. Season 7 is in the mud, and they deserve it, frankly. After the season they decided to give us in Season 7, all of that unnecessary drama, although the people here weren't the cause of all of the unnecessary drama in Season 7. But they do seem to think that they are the show now. And they may have Andreina and Charlie both get ousted in one episode, 3 episodes in. And I would love to see some puzzles so that someone is not afraid to challenge big old Chris, so he has to use his big empty head instead of a physical competition. I would like to see more puzzles. So, because Chris can't have all these physical competitions, he's too big compared to the rest of the cast. As we saw by the previews, Justine and Johnny are coming back yet again. This cements Love Island games as Love Island's version of the challenge, where you see the same cast members come back. But frankly, Justine deserves a chance to defend her crown. Justine not only won Love Island Season 2, but she won last season, the first season of Love Island Games. She is a big competitor in comps. She even did well on the Challenge USA when she was on that. Some are upset that these two are coming back yet again, but I think Justine deserves a shot at the big 250K prize since her first prizes were much less. And as for Johnny, he's always going to provide at least some mess. So it's a win-win for me. I don't have a problem at all with them coming back again. So, yeah, I'm excited about tonight's episode. I will be upset if KK gets the boot and loses to Andreina, though, but I also don't want Andreina to go. I don't know who I want to go from the girls. Certainly not Garby or Solene, though. So I guess that leaves Andrea or Nicola. Lucinda's pretty funny. As for the guys, it's best if Charlie or Isaiah go, let's be honest.